Okay, we got a an email that came in. Doc at AskDrPaul.com. I have a question for the Love Doctor. Dear Dr. Paul. Now, I'm reading these cold, okay? So I just got it in, and I have to maybe censor it as I go. I don't know. I'm good at that. Hopefully, very good at it. So if there's a four-letter word or two in there, I'll try to take it out. And again, sex is still a four-letter word, remember? Okay, a couple of my friends and I were discussing your show, which we never fail to watch. Thank you. And some of the highlights of it, getting ourselves rather sexually excited the more we talked. Well, thank you. I'll take that also as a compliment. None of us have any complaints about our mates or our love life, but we're sharing some of our more exotic or erotic or exciting places we did it, quote-unquote, at. We thought you and your listening audience might find them interesting, too. Okay, get the quiet button ready there, Mike, just in case. A number of years ago, when I worked in a general hospital in a city in Michigan, my fiance would often stop to see me. He was an ambulance driver, so he came to my hospital quite often, and we saw each other quite a bit on his visits with patients. One horny day, I'm not sure what day of the week that is, maybe it's a Wednesday. It says one horny day, he helped me to deliver a patient to an upper floor at the hospital, and as we were taking the elevator back down to the main floor, my fiancé hit the stop button, and the elevator, which brought it to a screeching halt. Oh, my. He immediately proceeded to pounce upon my horny little body and try to have sex with me in the elevator yet. Here I am, a respected member of the hospital X-ray team, in a hurry to get back to my office where there were more patients waiting, more people waiting for the elevator, and my horny fiancé decides this is an ideal time for sex in a hospital elevator. Well, congratulations. At least you're in the right place in case you happen to fall down or something. He would not take no for an answer, and I really did not fight him very much, as we usually enjoyed a very exciting and varied sex life. The thought of many people waiting for an elevator that we were having sex on turned us both on very much once he got started. I hope nobody in an emergency in the process. I had these white pantyhose on that nurses and technician types have to wear for a professional look, so it took some time to get ready, as was not easily completed in elevators. Call buzzer almost constantly going off by this time. Oh my. I had very long hair at the time, and during our frenzy it came very unpinned and undone, ended up strikingly looking before we finished. My white starched uniform became very wrinkled, and it disheveled on the line. I realized what we were doing. I was scared, excited, and afraid what might happen. Afraid everyone would know exactly what we did, but too involved and turned on to think even stopping. Then I realized he also was excited to stop. He was doing and fumbling like he never did before. We were going at it like a couple of kids, and there was no tomorrow. It was very exhilarating, to be sure. Okay. He started by pushing me up against the side of the elevator. So, okay, we'll probably dispense with the... he kept slipping in our excitement, so we ended up on the gurney. Oh, my. We used to deliver the patient to his room in the elevator, which further disheveled me and my clothes very much. This must have lasted a good 10 minutes, all of which had more and more very, very impatient people waiting and buzzing for an elevator would not move. The buzzer was buzzing. We were rocking the damn thing very much by this time. I just know people must have heard us. We were both very vocal as my fiancé kept whispering fantasies into my ear of how everyone was knowing what we were doing. They would catch us, and that damn gurney kept banging against the side of the wall, which I know could be heard down the shaft by everyone. I love this one. This is really a good one. Oh, my. Finally, we finished. The buzzer was buzzing nonstop, and the phone was ringing loudly. I guess that's the phone in the elevator. In this little space was someone wanting to know what the emergency was and why the elevator was not working. Were we okay, or what was going on? We panted hoarsely that all was okay. We didn't know what stopped it, but it seemed to be working now, so we are going down only 4 floors to the bottom, frantically trying to get my clothes back on halfway straight. My hair was hanging all a mess. My clothes looked absolutely, totally disarrayed. I could not get my pantyhose back on, and the door opened as I was trying to stuff them under the sheets and the gurney. This would make a great sitcom. My fiance was similarly disheveled, his hair messed up, clothes obviously hurriedly arranged, and we were both very flushed and trying to look quote-unquote normal, like nothing happened. I love this one. When the door opened, there was a good 20 or so very upset people looking at us as we left, including some of the staff that I of course personally know and worked with. We got some very hot and nasty looks, and we quickly took the gurney and shoved it through quote-unquote the mob, seen answering none of the many pointed questions directly angrily our way, and hurried towards the emergency room area where we were able to put the gurney behind some drapes and hide ourselves and get straightened up a little more respectfully looking. Whew, what a narrow escape. Everyone had to know what we were doing. We were all but caught in the act, but my boss never said a word. What he did do was break out in a most unprofessional, serious belly laugh the next time he saw me. He, of course, heard all the gossip from the staff by this time. He quickly closed the door to his office, and I could hear him laughing out loud for several minutes. That eased my fear about being fired, which was very real to me by this time. We quickly composed ourselves and went our separate ways for the rest of the day, but several days afterwards I got the ribbing from my coworkers about what happened on that elevator. I never did tell anyone about it, but my fiancé and I got on a lot of it talking about it later. I guess as outrageous sex like this is not unheard of, as each of my friends had a very similar story about sex where no normal person would think of doing it. Do you get many stories like this, Dr. Paul? Oh, yes, but this is one of the best, one of the very good ones. Right, Mike? Is this one of the good ones or what?
Yeah, this wins the award, I think.
Yeah, for this month, this is definitely the award. Are there really that many people like us that do these sex things other places than in their bed? Places where there is a very real danger of getting caught by fellow workers or complete strangers. Yes, there are, and you can certainly have your friends share them with us because they're very entertaining, and we all love it because we've all done something. Of course, that excludes Dr. Paul having done something. Well, maybe not. Dr. Paul, what would cause otherwise normal men? Wait a minute, I take issue with this. Have you found any normal people in your life? I haven't. I keep looking. Like, who was it looking for the honest man? Dr. Paul, what would cause otherwise seemingly, we'll put the word seemingly normal men and women to do such outlandish and dangerous stunts like this that could cost them their jobs, their livelihood, and maybe even get them in legal trouble? I would imagine if the security guards, which were actually policemen off duty, caught people doing like us, we would have some serious legal issues to untangle. I can assure you that they undoubtedly have their own dark side and their own issues. Thank you, Dr. Paul, for your fine show. Thank you for that compliment. I know you help many people with problems they have in their lives, but hope my bit of comedy might give a lift to your listeners. Not all of us are having sexual personal problems unless we get caught. And this, I'm not mentioning the person, but this is from Toledo, Ohio. I thank you. This was really, really tremendous. I really appreciate this. Was great. And by the way, I will tell you another one. I'm not going to go into detail. Maybe this person is viewing on the internet and would like to send this back in. If I find it, I'll let you know. It's a hilarious one as well, with a man and a woman on the beach, apparently on the Gulf of Mexico, and it's thundering and lightning at night. And I'm not going to go into detail on it because it's really funny the way this man described it. So maybe that person will send it, or maybe a woman has had that experience too and can explain it to us. But I thank you for this. This was really, maybe we'll put this on the YouTube. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
material, that's right? A keeper.
That's
definitely
a keeper for sure. Okay, good. Well, thank you again. I appreciated that very much. Had a good laugh out of that. My administrative assistant is getting up off the floor now. She's laughing and laughing about this.